Okay, you lovely ladies, let's do this. Day 4. Hi. Have you noticed I've changed my flowers? I'm rotating my bunches around. Can you see them? They're so pretty. So I've gone more white so we didn't clash. So as you are hopping on, say hello, give me a wave, give me a thumbs up. The more reactions we get when I go live, the more people. Lisa, first in, hello. So yeah, give me a wave, give me a hello. The more reactions we get, the more notifications ping out, and the more Facebook does its thing, telling everybody we are live and we can get going. So happy Thursday. After a day of no blue sky whatsoever at all. The sun is out, I can see blue sky, it is beautiful now, and the ground's clean, finally. So yeah, what a good day for weather. I haven't been out, I'll admit, but husband did the wet dog walk today. It was horrible. So who have we got? Katie, hi. Lisa, hello. Caroline, Nancy, Gabriella. So lovely to have you. We're day 4 already. Goodness me, it's flying. We've got tomorrow, and then we have our super Q&A session on Monday. So what I'm going to do between now and tomorrow night is I'll put a poll in the group to find out what time works best for everybody, because I want as many of you as possible to be able to jump in to the Q&A, bring your questions, and when I've got a view as to what time's best and how many people vote on the times, I may well do it as a Zoom, which lets us then actually see one another. Yeah, I know. Might have to actually get to look at you and say hello, and rather than your little names just popping up in these absolutely minuscule little photos, which would be great, because what I want you to do is over the weekend, I want you to sit and have a think about what we've covered, where it's taken you, where you've ended up, what thoughts it's sparked, what your plans are, what you're going to do next. And then if you've got any questions at all, then literally you can just bring them and we can go through them. So it'll effectively be like a little mini coaching session for everybody. I will get through as many as there are questions. It's interesting for everybody that joins, because it's always amazing when I've been part of group coaching sessions and you hear other people asking questions and you didn't even know you had that as a question, and you're like, wow, yeah, that's really useful to know. So literally it's a great way to learn from one another. So I'm going to do that for you at some point on Monday. So I'll put a poll out for the timings. I'll pick a couple of times in the day and one in the evening. We'll find out what works best, and then I'll set that up and send you an invite. So that'll be fabulous. Fiona, hello, lovely to see you too. So yeah, day 4. Let's just go back over yesterday first, because lots of people were very keen to do some work, which is fabulous. And how do I do my homework? So there wasn't any really specific homework. So yesterday was one of the days where you didn't have a specific task to complete and to drop into the thread. But I left you with a little bit of a sort of personal job to do, which was to go out and have a look at your space, your field of expertise, and go and do a little bit of research and have a little mingle around what's going on in your chosen area, and just see what other people are doing, just to start getting a little bit of a flavour. So before we start with today's content, and it's just occurred to me actually, I have no idea what your homework is for today, it will come to me. Before we do today's content, I just want you to share, if you did that exercise, I don't want like a whole load of detail of I found this and I found this, but what did it spark in you? Did it make you go, oh my goodness, they're amazing and I'm now worried? Or did you find out some bits that made you go, brilliant, there's this space available to me? And so tell me what you found, and how did you feel when you did that? Because it's Petra, hello, lovely. It's an interesting exercise to do, and I continue to mingle with people that offer the same services as me, and I don't do it as a sort of, well, I want to see whether or not I'm better than them. I do it genuinely to see sort of how the industry goes, because it depends on where you are in your journey, will depend on what you offer. And I think almost having a view as to what else is out there is a really healthy place to be. It's what all the big businesses would do, isn't it? They would always have an eye on their potential competition, and it's kind of a good place to check in. So tell me, what did you find? What did you discover? What did it spark in you? Did it give you a yay, this is amazing and I can't wait to be doing what they're doing? Or was it a bit like, oh no, now I've gone down a bit of a dead end and it's given me a bit of a wobble? Or oh yeah, this has definitely sparked me on. So tell me, share. While I desperately try and remember what your homework was, because I've got lots of notes written down, but I haven't actually written what I'm going to ask you to do. Yeah, I think I do have remembered. There's no comments coming up. There's still the hellos. We're still in the hello zone of comments. So tell me what you found out about yourself. Cheers, by the way. Lemon juice tonight. I could have had that, like cloudy lemonade, a little lemonade and gin, couldn't I? Maybe tomorrow we'll do that. Should we do that? Should we have a little, like, a wine on a Friday? It's Friday night. Could have a little beer, or a little wine, or a little G&T while we do our final session. There's so much in tomorrow. It's going to be epic. There's probably like 3 hours worth of content, so I'm going to have to be super on it to squish it down and make sure you get some of your Friday night. So, but yeah, join me with a little G&T. It'd be nice, wouldn't it, Friday? Inspired. Tanya's inspired. Brilliant. You're the only one that felt anything. Come on, guys, share. What did you find? How did it make you feel? So were there lots in your space? Did you have to look really hard, or did you not do it? Is that why you're not commenting? Because you didn't do it. Donna. Self-doubt, but you still want to pursue? See, I told you it would come out. I told you it would be like, oh no, I can't. But fabulous that you still want to do it. Because you have still got that superpower that we uncovered. You've still got that within you that all of those other people doing whatever it is have not got. They haven't got the Donna appeal, have they? They haven't got that thing that makes you you. That's what you bring. Your beautiful, unique personality that people will love. And do you know what? If they don't love it, then they're not your people anyway, are they? It's that sort of, well, do you know what? You have to take what you find, because you either like it, don't like it, and if you don't like it, you're not the right potential client for me. So yeah, stand in your superpower. Oh, they're all flying through now, look. Okay, so Jonathan, yeah, I read that. Caroline, found loads of coaches. Yeah, not surprising. Mindfulness courses, but still feel this is your thing. Okay, so you found courses in the thing that you're going to want to coach. Okay, we're going to touch on that today. Actually, interesting that you mentioned courses. Gabriella says you've done some research. Amazing job for so much people, but I believe I can do something with a personal touch. Yeah, absolutely. You bring something else to it, don't you? You bring you, and finding your little space in that world is absolutely the way that you can make the difference. And it's already there. I'm convinced. I've said this before. I'm convinced that there is a space for everyone that's got their idea in that business world, and you just need to step into it and do your thing, do it consistently, and you'll shine in a different way than the person next to you doing a similar thing. Nancy said, so you did the research. The net is saturated with online language teachers. Lots of 5-star reviews. So the competition is fierce out there. It is fierce. So Nancy, if there's loads doing it already, you're going to need to find a different way in. You're going to need to find something that's unique in you. It's already there. I'm not saying make it up, create something, generate it out of nothing. There's something in you already that you have that makes you different. That means that you bring something that those other language teachers don't. And if it's something that's sort of a natural gift or a passion that you've got that might not even be related to languages, but that you weave it in. So, you know, I've got another hair. Why is it when I start talking I end up getting like these fluff bits on me? So there's people that they have like a quirky element to their personality. So what they do might be a very serious service or a very kind of very business focused thing that they do, but they do it in a certain way with a certain amount of flair because that's their personality. So I've ended up linking with somebody recently on LinkedIn. So this isn't Facebook, this is LinkedIn, which traditionally has been quite a professional social media section. It's like, you know, Facebook was always considered Facebook for professionals and making connections and doing business. This lady's in PR, and she calls herself the blonde dyslexic PR something or other. When she does her little videos, and this is no word of a lie, she does them with a pair of pants on her head. So she literally, and the first time I saw it, of course, it made me stop scrolling, and I'm thinking, okay, what's her angle on that? And what she said was she felt so uncomfortable about her roots, given the current hairdressing situation, is that rather than not doing a video, she thought she would still do a video, but wear pants. And I was like, why didn't you just wear a hat? But she's quirky, she's a bit out there, she's unusual. And I stopped, I listened to what she got to say. So, you know, I'm not suggesting, Nancy, wear a pair of pants on your head, by the way. But if you can find something that's just your personality that's gonna come through, and it'll be you shining through. So it doesn't matter that it's saturated, because they're doing it their way, you'll do it your way, is really what I'm saying with the pants story. Michelle, I still feel like you have a USP. Brilliant, that's good. Tanya had an idea of where my ideal space was, and I look at it regularly. It spurs you on. Brilliant. Fiona, you found a couple of local freelancers who looked very good and extremely experienced, but you're not put off. Fabulous. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, look with interest, I would say. Like, you're just looking in the shop window and just having a nosy. Emma says, I think my niche is quite unique and there is a space for you. Yes, brilliant, brilliant. Leslie, hi. Anne-Marie, hi, good to see you live. You're still playing catch up. Okay, no, that's fine. It's beautiful to have you here and now. You can always go back and watch yesterday. Brilliant. No, really, really good. So you're still in that positive space. You know your strength, you know your superpower, you're good to go. So what would be really, really easy now to just suddenly go, okay, I'm good, I'm fired up, I'm motivated, I know where I'm going, I know what my space looks like, and I know what I'm going to offer. I've got some ideas around what my numbers need to be. I'm going to go at it full on. I'm full of yes, you're like chomping at the bit. So you tell me what you think the biggest mistakes are that people make around about now. So full of enthusiasm, can't wait to get going. What do you think people do that would be classed under the big mistakes? Tell me before I have to admit what mine are, and I get this pesky hair off my face. In case anyone noticed, I have changed my flower vase behind me. Has anyone noticed? Just as a little aside, Joe Wicks. Anyone been watching any of Joe Wicks? I say watching. That's all we did. We did some at the beginning of the school holidays with his daily PE thing. He did a fab thing earlier on, which mine were actually really into, where he had lots of things behind him on shelves, and he was like swapping them over, and the kids had to identify what it was he's moved or what had changed behind him. So I'm thinking, yeah, did anyone spot them? How observant are you being? So come on, share. What's the big mistake that people make? It could be that you think they spend too much money, or they waste time, or they try too hard. You know, what do you think? Oh, I'm interested to see whether or not anyone's thought about what you might be heading headlong into, full of enthusiasm, keen as anything to get going. What might you end up doing? Tell me. They'll all just whiz through in one go. I'm not ignoring you. There are literally no comments other than Nancy's thank you. And then they all go whoosh, whoosh, and they're on. No? It's very quiet. There we go, Emma. Okay, so start to feel overwhelmed, doing lots of things, feeling anxious and doubt. Yeah, it's a good one, yeah. So almost I've got all these things whizzing around in my head. I've got ideas that I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to do that, and actually, where the heck do I start? And that can lead to almost like paralysis, can't it? That you've got so much to do that it's just like, well, I don't know where to start, so I just won't start. Yeah, it's a good one. And then, yeah, that doubt, that fear starts to breed itself. Those voices, the gremlins start showing up. What about this? What about that? You won't be able to do that. People who are younger do that. People who are this. You need to be able to this. What about that? All those turn up. Caroline, procrastination. You have so many things on the to-do list that you never get going. Yeah, yeah, similar. It's that, well, actually, it's so daunting to actually start those things. And which do you start first as well? So prioritising where you should spend your time, and actually thinking that what you're doing here is really going to be the thing to get you going. Or the other classic one is, I really like doing this bit, I really like the idea of that bit, so I'm going to do that first. But then all the other stuff that might have made a difference you don't do. But who's to say? How are you supposed to know? Because I certainly didn't. I absolutely had no clue at all. So yeah, I'll be honest, I probably did I like that best type list. I prefer doing those things, so I'll do those because I sort of know what I'm doing. Those ones are just scary because I haven't got a clue, so I'll leave them till last. And then you feel busy as well, don't you? Because you feel like you're getting through those things. Michelle says, that's probably miss launching, isn't it? And it's a total flop out. Yeah, that sort of, yes, I'm ready. You get everything ready behind the scenes, and then you open the door and, okay, where are all these customers? My kids have got a book called Dog Loves Books, and he spends a lot of time preparing for opening of a bookshop, and we always say that, he opens the doors and nobody came and he was super sad. And it's that sort of, you go through all of those motions of getting your business ready. You're still super enthusiastic. You totally know that you can help people. Bang, the doors are open and you're talking to, crickets, and that's demotivating as well. Lisa says, poor marketing and or unnecessary marketing to the wrong demographic. Oh, you're good. Very good. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, to know that you're definitely marketing yourself in both the right way but to the right people as well. It's good. I'm not going to force you to do it anymore. So let me tell you one of the classics, which nobody's mentioned. The classic one is, I think I need, stay motivated. Yeah, Petra, yeah, absolutely. How do you maintain that when you can't see progress? You can't see, you haven't got customers queued up. You're not actually feeling like you've moved it forward. So yeah, it's another really good one. So the biggest one, and this is, I think we're all guilty of this to some level. We think we need to retrain. We think, okay, but to be able to do that, I'm going to need to teach myself this, and I'm going to need to go and get that qualification, and I'm going to need to now have letters after my name, which are different than perhaps the qualification that I had doing the previous thing that I did for years. Letting the problems feed, see, they're all flying through now. Letting the problems feed your gremlins. Yeah, and that's that kind of like, oh, you see, I told you, and employing staff or renting property. So yeah, committing financially before you're ready to. Now this is that's an interesting one, because when you take that decision, when you decide, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm absolutely doing this, this is now what I am going to define myself as, you wear the label of your new role, you may not immediately need premises, people, but there could come a point at which you're going to need to make an investment to perhaps take your business to the next level, or to get that additional help to expand, to scale, to really grow at a rate that you feel you're ready to grow at. And putting that off can be just as bad as doing it too early, because if you put off making that decision and making it a true, genuine business where you invest in it, and you know the whole thing about you get out what you put in, then actually you can almost be delaying your progress by not as well. So it's knowing when the right time is, and knowing what the right help is to get where you need it. If you need property, is there another way you can manage for a short period of time until you're absolutely sure? But for me, and this even very, very recently has been true for me, that I used to look on my business finances in a really similar way to my home finances, which was very much you earn it before you spend it. That was how I was always brought up. You didn't take loans, you didn't necessarily take risks that you didn't need to. You earned it, you saved it, and then you spent it. So in my business, I was very much of the mindset that, okay, I need to get to a certain level before I bring some help in, because if I don't, I haven't earned it. I've got to earn it in my business before I'm sort of committing to spending it. But through my being coached myself, I was encouraged to turn that on its head and say, well, actually, if you invest in your business and in yourself, then what if that allows you to get to that next level anyway? Because it's sort of, I was putting barriers in the way of saying, well, when I this, then this, when I this, then this. And actually what happened for me was I agreed to take on some help to help me with the marketing and just making sure that I was getting my message out there as much as possible. I agreed to take that help on before, in my own mind, I was ready, and it was really nerve-wracking because it was committing to a lengthy contract with someone that was going to then work for me and become part of my business. And I thought, well, I'm not ready for that. Well, you know, who am I to say that I can take somebody on? But the minute I did, the business shifted. The tone of my entire business shifted, not because of what this person did, which has been amazing, but because my brain shifted towards, right, this is it now. I've been messing around at this level. Now I've taken my business to this level. So everything has to step up. My priorities change. My attitude towards the business changed. And it did. It flipped something in me just by making that commitment. And you know, that's a great way for me to talk about the Academy again, because making a commitment to work on yourself, to get some help, to get that first rung on the ladder, could be as much as you need. Forget all the benefits and the outcomes you're going to get. Just making that commitment in your own mind to say, yes, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this to the point where I'm going to make an investment to ensure that this works. You get the practical and the mindset benefit of the program itself, but you also get that shift in your thinking that I'm not just messing about, I'm not just doing freebies and doing self-taught YouTube things and wasting all this time. I'm genuinely doing this, and I'm jumping in with both feet because this is important to me, my family, my life, and everything else around us. So, you know, having that sort of internal conversation with those gremlins that are saying yes but not now, and yes but this, and yes you can't afford it would be great to do, but you can almost silence them by saying, well, I am doing this, and I know you'll hear those gremlins, but I'm driving, get in the back, let's do this. So yeah, absolutely, that's a really good one. Rima, hi, thank you for joining. I don't think I've said hello to you. Do I go for it even if I can't afford to? Going with my gut without the thoughts in my head and letting the opportunity come my way, which is exactly where you are now. Yeah, so that's one of the thoughts that you've had around do I, should I? And that's an element of listening to those gremlins, isn't it? So going back to the really common ones then, the retraining thing. And the retraining is, it's often unrelated to the thing that you want to do, which always fascinates me. So you might want to do coaching or write. I think we've got I think it's Lisa in here. So you might want to do something along those lines, but then something in you says you should go and learn all about social media marketing, because you just should, because you're going to need that. So you need to sort of hop over and go, or you need to learn about business and finance, because if you're running a business, you're going to need to know about business and finance. And then, did you see, you kind of go off and you get convinced that you're going to need all these other things that are quite in depth, and they're really, really lengthy, and you know, they might even end up in like an A-level in it, whatever it is. So people really feel that they need to go and retrain to get these extra things to top themselves up, which, in broadly speaking, you really don't. Now, there could be some professions where you're going to need to have like a genuine certified, certification, is it? That's the word. But there's others that you can start, you can explore the market, you can get your message out there without having the additional letters after your name. And actually, if you go and do something totally unrelated, you're not actually starting to grow your business, you're attempting to grow yourself. Maybe your confidence levels might improve a little bit for a while because you've got this additional thing, but let's go back to what we talked about around what your customers are interested in, which we did this morning on the customer attraction piece. They're not interested in you, they're not interested in what you've done, what you've qualified in, and all these letters after your name. They're interested in what they can get out for themselves and how you can benefit them, how you can deliver them the outcome. So if the thing that you're thinking about retraining isn't going to help them with that, then that's a check-in, and that should be a little warning for you. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense while I have a slurp and take a breath. Okay, the next one, the other biggie that I see is, again, did this. So this is the, when I this, then I'll that. So when this happens, then I'll do that thing. Or when these certain key events in my life conspire together, then that will mean that I can this, and this. Ringing true. Brilliant. Good. Thank you, Caroline. And I'm a terrible one for this, not just in my business. And I've told this story more than once, and it sounds ridiculous when I talk about it, but I still do this now on some level, and I have to regularly give myself a proper slap on the wrist and check in that I don't do this to the ridiculous degree. So it probably comes from the whole, when you've earned something, then you can sort of, you deserve it almost, you save for it, and then you have it. So I build in rewards in my life a lot. It's tiny rewards sometimes. It's like food rewards. You know, if I go for an extra kilometre on a run, I can have that, whatever. If I this, then I can this. When I've this, then that. I build them in all the time, and they're so small, but this has become like a real sticking mindset for me that I've tried to just, as I say, check in with and eradicate. But when you're talking about growing your business, it's really easy to end up saying, so when I have got my first 5 customers, then I'm going to invest in some help. Or when I've got to my first £5,000 month, I will this, and this, because that's going to help me to get onto the next level. What you're doing, what the message that you're sending out by doing that is, it's that sort of forcing, neediness behind it. You're forcing yourself, well, when I get here, then something else is going to happen. Well, what if you did that thing anyway, and actually you got to that point therefore quicker or easier or more smoothly or without the pain and the tears and the whatever? So it might not even relate to your business, but I've heard so many times people saying, yeah, so I've thought about this, and when my children are X age and this happens in our house and we're planning to do this, so that would mean it's not a good time to start my business. And there's the whole, there's the whole COVID thing that blah, blah. When this, then that, it's not serving you at all. And there are so few genuine points in your life where you can actually say, well, when this, then this, because you're just delaying it. You're meaning that you're putting that barrier in place until you can do that next thing. So that for me is a real biggie, and it's one that I'm absolutely, and as I say, still I have to check myself, still guilty of to a point. So I now try and say, I am already deserving of that thing. I already need that thing. Therefore, I'm going to award myself it now, here and now, because I know that I'm going to get to that place where it will be right for me. And it's just a totally different switch around, as opposed to saying I'm putting all these sort of measures and things in place. It's very different. That is very different to having goals. Goals I love. Don't get me on goals. That's a whole nother hour. Love a goal. Goals have their place and they can be amazing for you. However, goals should be almost like milestones. They should be check-ins along the way, and they're very specific. They've got numbers attached to them and they get you along a journey. What I'm talking about here is putting in almost like these sort of blockers that say, well, I can't do that yet because I haven't got there yet. Well, what if that thing isn't there and you just do it anyway? It's really not. Rima says, I've just signed up to a new nutrition business last week to complement my fitness, but I can't afford it, but it feels right. I thought if I don't do it now, I'll never. And it's a way to add value. Yeah, so it's that sticking your neck out. It's being brave, isn't it? It's being brave before you're ready to be brave and taking the risk. So without putting those barriers in. So brilliant. Love that you've taken that risk, Rima. Really good. And then the other one, the final 3, which again, I've shared these from the heart because some of them are they're absolutely me. Being a perfectionist. Now, people are on different levels of perfectionism, even if they don't even call themselves a perfectionist. If you strive to get things right, you work really hard to make sure that things are in a good place, then you're on some level of a perfectionist, aren't you? And if you've already got that in yourself, oh my goodness, when it's your business you're talking about, it kind of comes up tenfold. Oh, I can't quite get that post out on social media because it doesn't quite, I better reread that 2 or 3 times and re-edit it. Yeah, but I can't put that because of that. And I know I'll work on my logo, and it's got to be just so, and it's got to be this, and everything that you produce, everything that you try and do has got to be just so, and got to be just right. It's time consuming and it's energy sapping. But coming from the place of love, as a perfectionist, I know how hard it is just to go, oh, it's fine. But I have a phrase on my board, which is just to the side of me, next to my computer, so I can see it every day. Done is better than perfect. Because the downside of perfection is you will never reach that perfection, will you? It's like that end of the rainbow. You need to get something just done. And then next time you do something similar, it's going to be better, and next time and next time and next time. So perfectionism will lead to paralysis because it just will you'll never get there. You'll never make it happen. So getting it to a point where it's fine, it's acceptable, I've done it enough, and then doing it might feel really hard and really like, and it might properly kind of trigger you off going, I can't, but it's the best thing you can do. Getting it done is better than making it perfect and wasting time doing it. It's not easy though. It isn't easy, it's still not easy for me. Do you know what all of those have in common? All of those 3 that I've just shared with you. So I've shared the requirement to retrain and thinking that you need to retrain totally in some different field. I need to have X before I can have Y, and striving for perfection. All of those can be wrapped into one label, which is procrastination. It's procrastination, and procrastination is the gremlins. It is but you better do that. But you know what? Those gremlins are so blooming clever. They come up in all these ways. You totally convinced you're working on something that's so beneficial, and oh my gosh, I have to get the logo right because it's the logo that represents my business. If I don't represent my business in the right way, nobody's going to buy from me. And your ego's really clever in coming up with all of these things of, but you need to go and learn how to build your own website. Otherwise, this, and all these reasons come up. It is so clever and so diverse in the way that it can present these things to you, but they are all putting off, all of them, every single one of them. And without consciously meaning to, what have you not done? You've not gone out and tried to find any clients. You've not gone and spoken to people that might potentially want to work with you. You've not created something which you can then deliver to a client and actually serve them. You've not formulated a business. You have had, until you start getting paying clients, truth bomb here, you've got a really cool hobby. Until you get those people who are willing to pay you for what you do, you've got something which is filling your time, probably massively. You're enjoying it, you're probably loving it, you might be being really creative, but you haven't got a business. So until you can start working in a way that is actually moving you towards those clients, you're just faffing. I love the word faffing. You're faffing about not moving your business forward. Is this making sense? I'm going to scroll back because lots of you are sharing. So tell me, what are yours while I'm reading, while we're thinking? What is your conscious or unconscious procrastination go-to? What is it that you do? Because we all have them. We all have those days when you just I can't get going. You probably had it in previous jobs, you have it in life. What do you do? So mine, I shared mine earlier on last week, is cleaning. Totally is cleaning. So I like to have everything straight around me, and I've convinced myself now that it affects my work. I know, somebody said tidy house, tidy mind. Is that so? But yes, that is true. But yeah, I'll clean and I'll convince myself that, I've got to get the house clean because otherwise I'm not going to be able to concentrate on my work. And then with prioritising my work, I try and do the big stuff that I really don't like first, but I still end up having stuff at the end of the day that I haven't got round to. So we're all absolutely totally guilty of it. So tell me what yours is. So Lisa said, totally my issue. If I don't think I'll ace something, so this is the perfectionist, you won't do it, as you know, it'll cause too much turmoil, and then you'll do something else or go over the top to make it perfect. Yes, you're not moving yourself forward, are you? Chelsea, hi, if you're still here. Caroline, you're in all of those categories. Bless you, that's tough. Rima, I edit my social posts 3 or 4 times before I send it. Do you know what? You can edit it after you've put it out. So if you're really desperate, if it's got like a typo in where you've written, my common one is writing tour instead of your, just because they're next to each other. So the amount of times I post something and I go, oh, look, I've written tour. You can edit it if you notice. And you know what? People work it out. So I created a watch party this afternoon. Did anyone see? Created a watch party. Facebook didn't actually tag the video on. I was just like, oh God. But I didn't notice for ages. And you know what? You're all still here, aren't you? The world didn't end. Yeah, hence why you're still getting ready. Yeah, if this, then this. Always cleaning. See, I love clean. I don't know whether I've said, but my kitchen's going to be pulled out next week. And, you know, the end result will be brilliant. Can't wait for the end result. But, oh, my goodness, the next 2 weeks are just going to be horrible because the mess is going to go everywhere. Everything that's now in the kitchen and the dining room is going to have to be somewhere else. And it's going to test me. When we first started to look at the dates and I'd got this week penciled in for this, I was like, you can't do it that week because I need to retain my sanity to be able to turn up fully in a calm and great place. Donna, research, that's your go-to. Yeah, you see, it feels like a really constructive thing, doesn't it? I'll go and find that out, or what about learning that thing? I need to probably experience that thing myself and go and do some more research on it. And then what? You know, where's that taken you? Yes, you expand your knowledge, and I'm not saying you should never research. Of course you should. You should always be expanding yourself, but not to the detriment of the other stuff. You've never experienced this in your work life before. I'll put the putting off. Yeah, I'm trying to trace your comments back. Yeah, so you were in all the categories, Caroline. Yes, so you've not been too bad at it before. Need to start on a clean slate. Yeah. Is that clean like clean? Are we still referring to the clean? I shouldn't have mentioned it, should I? Keeping yourself busy but realise you haven't been smart about your time. Yes, big one for me, that one. And don't we feel like we're being really productive when we're really busy? I totally did, and I think I've already talked to you guys about this. Being busy and constantly being on the go was my thing. Running at 100 miles an hour, always doing 2 things at least at once. Not even relaxing at the hairdresser's and having a chat for an hour. I'd be writing notes or listening to something, or just constantly on the go. And actually not giving yourself time to just go, have a think, or I'll have a reflection, or I'm not always this hyped, by the way, the speed that I'm going with you. This is me. It is me when I'm doing my thing, but I have very quiet moments of consideration, and I journal and I think about making plans and work through things. So I'm not always, but I think this is energetic. This is good for you guys. So you still have a to-do list to do the next day. Yeah. So great tip on to-do lists. I used to absolutely run a list every day constantly and then carry it over, particularly when I was in previous jobs. There'd always be something that I'd never get to and I'd carry it over. So my routine now is to have no more than 5, and they are only my most important tasks. So they are the things that if I don't do them on that particular day, something genuinely would be awry. So I wouldn't be moving the business forward, or I wouldn't have perhaps scheduled things to update you guys, or I hadn't planned something in for a client meeting or whatever. So they're absolutely 5 most important tasks. That's it. Anything else that I end up getting to is a bonus, but those 5 have to be done, and you can't do anything else until you've absolutely forced yourself to do it. And I used to be really strict before the kids were here all the time, that they had to be done by 12 before I stopped for a break. so that, you know, it was almost like, I've got to stay at my desk until I've done those. And if you've got things on there that you don't like, that's a really good discipline to almost sort of give you that kick up the bum to say, you've got to get on and do that thing because that's on your list. You got told off for not actually finishing a task properly because you're multitasking. Yeah, exactly. And actually, if that one of those tasks involves a loved one in some way, be it you're with them, you're eating a meal with them, you owe it to them to totally be with them and to totally give your time, commitment and attention to that thing. And you know what? I'm sure you do everything better if you're only doing one at a time. It's different if you, I don't know, watching paint dry. You can do more, do you know what I mean? You can, but on the whole, doing one thing really well and concentrating on it totally is definitely the way to go. So thank you for sharing what yours are. So where we're going with this is, okay, so you now know what not to do, but procrastination is absolutely your biggie. And procrastination is those self-sabotage monsters that creep in when you think you're moving yourself forward, but you're still holding yourself back in some way, and they're eating at you. They're saying yes but this, but yes but that, and yeah but how are you going to this, and you don't know how to do that. They're the things that then introduce all these various ways. We've listed loads because you've all got some, I've shared some, that these things can show up. So what do we do when they do? So the big one for me is knowing where you're aiming for. So that goes back to Monday. It's your vision. It's that big place, it's that dream place that you wanted to get to. And then being able to know that actually the actions that you take need to be taking you forward, genuinely taking you forward to that place. Now for me, and what I absolutely advocate, that is goals. That is understanding that you can't necessarily write 1, 2, 3, even 4 goals and get to that ultimate vision place. But what you can do is write your first 2 steps on your journey. So they are your stepping stones to get across to that place that equals your vision. So if you write yourself a goal that says, this goal will absolutely move me towards that vision. It isn't going on another random training course unrelated. It isn't spending 3 weeks researching this item. It will tangibly, measurably move you towards that goal. Then that is worthy of your time, and that's what you should start with your day. That's what you should concentrate your efforts on, your energies on, your time on, your money on, because let's be clear, there are times when you're going to need to invest in something which will move you forward. But if that's going to move you forward in a way that you're going to end up getting closer to your vision, then it's still in alignment with where you want to be. It's the ones that are just so tangential to where you want to be that they're not the ones. So you're full of ideas, you have your superpower, you are ready to go, you know what you need to earn, you know what you'd like to earn, you've started building your beautiful picture of your vision. We have been together for 4 hours, nearly. Does that feel like we've taken a big leap? Give me a thumbs up, tell me where you are. Is that feeling like you've progressed on and you're ready to start getting that harnessed now? So tell me, what are you thinking? Anyone going, oh yeah, totally me, yeah, ready for this, need this now? Because the next part of what we're going to cover is the final piece of this jigsaw. It's about harnessing what you have already, not going out and finding something new, not diversifying, retraining, whatever it might be. It's having structure to be able to do it, to actually start, knowing what that first step should be, knowing how to get yourself onto that journey, those first few steps, those scary first few steps, like when a child first walks, they're a bit wobbly and they're a bit, oh, I'm not totally behind this, I'm not totally sure. Getting those laid out so you can start to work on those before you sort of start to stand a bit taller, get your confidence, and then you're moving a lot more comfortably. So you need to harness yourself, you need some structure, and you need to take some action. Now that action is around those tasks, isn't it? It's around those tasks that get you to your goal. But what action do you take? Now, I can't sit here and tell everybody individually, well, do this, this and this, and there's the answer, because only you know it. You have to find those actionable steps yourself. But what I do know is that there are some really practical ways that you can first start applying, which is what we're going to go into tomorrow. It's the real foundational basics of, do you know what? If you go and apply these things in this way, you're going to be moving a business forward. Everybody still there? You still with me? It's gone very quiet. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me something. I'm going to slurp again. So tomorrow is your 5 steps. 5 steps to literally immediately start moving yourself forward, moving your ideas on, formulating them into a plan and formulating them into something that you're going to be able to say, this is it, this is me, I'm now working on this and I know it's taking me forward in an aligned way. You've really gone quiet. Either that or Facebook is so slow. It is slow. You've gone quiet and shy on me. Okay, so let's sum up today. Ah, brilliant. We've got some comments. Thank you. 4 hours of good advice. Yes, we've got some thumbs up. Brilliant. Okay, so your homework is to, in a nutshell, share with us what you're going to do. What is your business now? So it might have changed. It might have changed 3, 4, 5 times since we started. It doesn't matter because no one knew necessarily what your original idea was. So I want you to, on the thread that comes up at 9, it will tell you, give you a quick prompt, but I want you to tell me what your business is and briefly describe it, particularly if it's slightly out there, like the baby, cake smash. Describe what your business idea is, but then most importantly, and the bit that I want you to take time on, is tell us why we, as your potential clients, would need to buy that from you, not why do we need it in our lives, why do I need that service. I want to know why you should provide me with that service. Bring it to life. Describe what it is that you bring as an individual, as a superpower in your thing. Describe it as much as you can. So what is it you're going to do, and why should we buy it from you? What are you bringing? Your uniqueness. Because this is now digging into creating your own USP. Someone mentioned it earlier. What is it about you that is that USP? Is everyone happy with the homework task? Because I know I confused a few yesterday or the day before. Yeah, no, it was the future me one confused you. So pop that in. I'm still keeping the log open. You've still got a couple more days. No, you've got a good few days more to add to the homework. But loads of people did day 1. Brilliant. Quite a few people did day 2. There's still some gaps in my day 2 list. So get your responses onto the day 2 thread. And then today I'm going to start a new log for the day 4s. So remember, you need to respond. Oh, Caroline's got it. Good. So you need to respond to all 3 of the day's tasks. That this is it now. This is your 3rd and final piece of homework. Everyone that's responded to each of those, they go into a random generator where I'm going to pick out the names and pick out 3 names and allocate you one of the giveaways, which is detailed in that top post. I'm going to do that on Wednesday of next week. So by Tuesday night, next Tuesday night, you need to have completed it, and I'll close the doors and start working on getting the names into the generator. So have another look back over. If anything's not clear, ask me. If you've seen, I respond to things. I get in conversations with you guys. I'm reading all the comments. I'm looking at everything. So if you're not clear or you've lost your way a bit with one of the previous ones, then ask me and I'll tell you, I'll clarify for you to make sure that you can do it. I don't want you to do it for me. I want you to do it so this is genuinely giving you some output, that you're thinking, you're kicking off that grey matter, and you're getting something out of these few days. So that's your final day of homework. So 2 more things to mention. Q&A session I will post before tomorrow as to what time works for most people, and based on that I will then create an invite, and we'll do it on Zoom as a little mini coaching session, which depending on how many join, it might be an hour. It'll be as long as it needs to be. So I want you to come with your questions, with your queries, think on this, I think on the other, and we'll do that on Tuesday. 2 important dates for you to remind you to really hit home for you. The Academy doors open, I'm enrolling, can't wait. I am regularly through their days still working on that. I'm adding content to that all the time. It's fab. I'm growing it just from the feedback I've had from some of you guys. So yes, actually that would be helpful for you to know, and yeah, that came up as a question. So that's growing every day. I'd love to talk to you about it. The link to the book a call with me is on that thread for the day where you're going to post your comments and your homework task. So please use that. I've left as much time as I can open to book in that call. Let's have a chat about it, find out whether it's right for you, and hopefully get you rolling with that. In terms of the offers for that, then you've got 2 deadlines. So those that enroll before Saturday, so they are my real action takers. Let's do this. There was a whole host of you. Day 1, yes, now's the time's right, I'm ready to do this. Where has that gone? I want to see it, I want to hear it, I want that fire in you, because they're the people that I want to work with to get you moving, get your businesses going, so that by September, when some level of normality, when the kids go back, you have got a business, you've already started it. So book that call with me. If we enroll you by Saturday, you get the bonus of the strategy one-to-one call. So that's a 90-minute, quite a structured approach of reviewing your business idea and coming up with literally a 90-day plan to get you some paying clients. So literally that call, that 90-minute call, could easily cover the cost of the course that you're going to invest in, because it's going to help you attract your clients. So you could have attracted your clients and have paid for the course just from that 90-minute session. Genuinely, there is heaps of stuff in there for you to take away and actually action. You've got another deadline as well for the program enrollment, which is after our Q&A. So at the end of the Q&A, the early birds will go. So if you book on between the Saturday the 20th and the end of the 22nd, you'll get the Getting Started course, which is like a little mini, it's a bit of a whirlwind sort of summary, 2 short courses which can really help you just sort of take a bit of an overview of where you want your business to go. So you get those thrown in as well. So with those 2 bonuses, it's about £200 worth of bonuses. The payment plan is available to you. I'm not asking for a massive amount of money up front. Each month we will be working together to grow your business, to develop you into the person that is going to be the CEO of your amazing dream company. It's not a course, as I said this last night, it's not a course that I'm selling you. I'm going to help you on your way to owning your dreams, to stepping into your superpower, to loving the life that you lead, and to be able to be that person that in a year's time meets that friend on the street and says, I've had the most amazing year, this is what I've done. You can, of course, use the stuff that we've done this week, and you can have a really, really good go at doing what we've talked about. And there's so much in here that it keeps you going for ages, I'm sure. But doing it alone is painful. I know, I did it, and I cried, and I lost sleep, and I wasted hours and hours and hours. The minute I got a coach, I was away, because I was so enthusiastic, but I was misguided. I didn't know where to spend my time. I didn't know how to do certain things, so I used to have to research it for myself. I've done all that for you so that you can literally just use this as a one-stop shop, and you can use the training forevermore. It's going to be there for you to access whenever you're ready to use it. So there's masses in it. I've taken up enough of your time this week. If you are even remotely interested, if there is your heart saying, yes, I really want to do this, but pick up the phone, let's explore your reasoning, let's explore your thoughts. I will not pressure you, because I don't want you on that program under any sort of duress. I want you ready, I want you enthusiastic, I want you going, I can't wait to start, let's do this. So I'm looking to explore that with you, that's all. So please don't be afraid. So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, practical session, bring a drink. I might have a little sneaky drink as well. Absolutely, you're going to need a notepad. We're going to rattle through a whole heap of content, and I will see you tomorrow. Any final questions just while I wrap up, please type them in. Let's check I haven't missed any. Thank you so much for everybody joining. I'm so grateful and touched by how many of you have kept through this and been working with me on this. So I'm only assuming that you're getting good value from it, you're enjoying it, that you're engaged, you're sparking off those ideas. So it's been lovely, and I'm loving every day more and more and more. So I'm going to be super sad when Friday comes. We'll have Monday to look forward to, and then I'll be looking at the start of the academy. So nothing's come through. If I'm missing them, I'm really sorry. It's perhaps a bit slow tonight. So same time, same place, 8 o'clock, little drink, cup of tea, biscuit, whatever is your chosen Friday night. Oh, Caroline says thank you. You've had a glass of wine for each session? Cheeky. I reserve mine and go and have mine now while I put the kids to bed. Fab. Well, bring your glass of wine tomorrow, Caroline. Have a great Friday, whatever it is. Is there a replay for tomorrow night? Of course, Donna, they are all going to be in here for a little while longer. So they're all tagged. So if you go into the topics area, the units area at the side, they're all tagged. I think it's labelled E to E, or I think it might be the full name for June 20. Or you can find it in the main feed. But yeah, absolutely, they're all in here. You can watch it when you like, and I will try and remember to properly start a watch party at some point tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Rima, did I miss a question? I asked if your steps can induce a relaunch. Can your steps... Oh, do you mean tomorrow? Not induce. We're not inducing anybody. I asked if my steps can include a relaunch. Your steps. I'm just going scrolling back to see what your question was, because I don't follow that. Sorry, I'm not following what your question means. Do you mean the steps tomorrow? Yes, they probably would, if just why it takes a while. I think they will, yeah, because actually if I was to have a particular like a new product or something that I was then creating to bring it to market, I could still absolutely use these steps. So if you already have that business and you're looking to give it a little bit of a sort of zhuzh and I'm going to go again, yes, your existing business, yes, absolutely. It can all be used for your existing business. And do you know what? What I often find, if people have already started something and perhaps they're 6 months in, or they've given it a go, they perhaps shelved it for a while because something else came up, that actually starting over and going back to basics suddenly uncovers all the stuff that didn't quite go to plan, or you totally missed out the first time round, which is back to what I said, today was all about, really, that when you've got all that enthusiasm and you're raring to go with all these ideas, you kind of barrel full pelt into it and go, yes, I'm going to do this, and you kind of busy yourself, and then 6 months down the line you go, oh, well, this isn't working, clearly it's doomed to failure. Putting some of these things in and sort of taking a step back, rewinding and going again is a really valuable place to be. So effectively you're bringing your existing business as though it is the idea that you're then going to work towards and you're going to work forward on. So yeah, absolutely. Existing, brand new, early days, relaunch, all still works. And the same for the academy. That works in exactly the same way, because back to basics, if something isn't working, is the best way to start, without a doubt. You can unpick and you can see where you perhaps went wrong and learn by your own sort of slightly skewed directions from doing something before. So yeah, totally. So listen, anybody got any more final questions? I guess you haven't, because they would have come up. Thank you again from the heart. I'm loving being with you. I'm loving the interaction. It makes this an absolute pleasure to do. So go and have an amazing evening. Go and have a good Friday. If it's not raining, I will plan to definitely get some fresh air tomorrow, and I will see you for our final day without the Q&A. So final day of content tomorrow. Go, have a great one. See you soon. Bye.